The stench of smoke was still stuck in my hair the morning she strutted into my courtroom, like she'd just gotten away with torching a judge's house and couldn't wait to show off. That's me, Judge Miriam Blackwood, black robe, gavel in hand, sitting there staring at the woman who'd just committed arson against a sitting judge. Let me tell you, the nerve, the pure, unfiltered nerve, almost made me laugh out loud. Almost. But Bryn Ashworth Sterling, oh, she had no idea what she'd stepped into. When you burn down a judge's home, you better hope she never gets the chance to return the favor legally. And honey, I was about to serve up justice hotter than the fire she started. Serve with a side of federal prison time. She thought burning down my house would silence me. All it did was light a fire under me, one that would swallow her entire criminal little empire. 6 months before my house became a crime scene, I was just Judge Blackwood. I just buried my husband, Harold. Cancer took him slow, piece by piece. 28 years of marriage gone. Our house in Pinewood Estates felt more like a tomb than a home. Pinewood used to be all working families and retired teachers who cared more about their roses than HOA drama. But then the money moved in, tearing down little ranch homes for McMansions with more bathrooms than sense. Folks like Walt Henderson, he'd lived there since '65, watched their taxes skyrocket while the newcomers whined about neighborhood standards. And leading the charge? The queen bee herself, Bryn Ashworth Sterling. Imagine every bossy suburban cliché. Then add a Tesla and a God complex. She was 45, spent more on smoothies than I did on groceries, always clutching some $20 green juice while pointing out why everyone else was doing life wrong. She moved in with her husband, a contractor, and started plotting improvements. Translation: get rid of the people she didn't like. My first real run-in with Bryn came while I was installing Harold's memorial fence. We'd planned it together, a 6-foot barrier for privacy during his last months. He'd loved the idea, drinking coffee together, no one looking in. That morning, the air still smelled like his roses, 15 years' worth, blooming without him. Then I heard the crunch of boots on leaves. "You must be the widow," she said. "Not sorry for your loss. Not even a real introduction. Just that cold, clinical look." I corrected her. "It's Judge Blackwood." She didn't even blink. "Right, the judge. I'm Bryn, HOA president. We have a problem." Out came her pink tape measure. She snapped it open like a whip, measure my fence, lips pursed. 6'2". That's a $500 violation. Immediate removal required. I stood up slow, hands still dirty from planting. "Show me that rule." She fumbled through her little binder, couldn't find it. Because it didn't exist. I'd hired a licensed surveyor for exactly this reason. That evening, after a dinner of microwave leftovers and Harold's favorite bourbon, I dug into court records. Guess what? 3 years earlier, her husband's company tried to scam an old vet out of $30,000 for a new roof he didn't need. I'd slammed the gavel on them hard. This wasn't about a fence. It was payback. But Bryn had made a rookie mistake. She'd picked a fight with someone who'd spent 20 years sending criminals to prison. Someone who'd watched her soulmate die and had nothing left to lose. Soon, the letters started. Thick envelopes, delivered by a mailman who looked like he wanted to apologize. 7 in 10 days. Violation 1. Harold's memorial stone, apparently out of character for the neighborhood. Violation 2. My black mailbox, visual discord. Violation 3. Excessive bird feeding. Harold's favorite cardinals. Each letter demanded fines and threatened liens. The paper they were printed on probably cost more than the fines. But here's where being a judge pays off. I'd memorized Colorado HOA statutes back in law school. Real fines have to be reasonable, documented, and come with due process. Bryn's letters were full of holes. So I got to work, photographed everything, made spreadsheets, and filed a complaint with the Colorado Real Estate Commission. 3 nights in Harold's old office, surrounded by his law books, getting ready for war. Bryn didn't stop at paper harassment. One Thursday, while I was downtown, sentencing drunk drivers. My cameras caught her and her cronies prowling around my yard. Her interior designer in all white, her personal trainer looking like a linebacker with a clipboard, pointing at Harold's roses like they were weeds. I watched the footage that night, rage building. This was fraud, manufacturing evidence. In my world, we call that conspiracy. Then Walt Henderson knocked on my door, pipe tobacco swirling around him. He spoke in a whisper. "Judge, Bryn's targeting everyone. The Rodriguez family? Fined for a garden statue. Single mom? Fined for her kid's chalk art." I started connecting the dots. It wasn't just me. She was going after anyone who didn't fit her vision. Minorities, single moms, the elderly, now a widowed judge. It was bigger than a fence. It was discrimination, fraud, and systematic harassment. She made another mistake. She broke into my yard while I was out. Cameras caught her snooping, pressing her face to my kitchen window. She left my back gate open on purpose. That evening, I came home to find my old tabby, gavel, Harold's last gift to me, gone. For 3 days, I searched every alley and storm drain, voice hoarse from calling his name. Even the Rodriguez family, who'd moved away, came back to help look. Then the call came from the animal hospital. Gavel was barely alive, broken ribs, dehydrated. Vet said the injuries matched being chased by machinery. Security footage filled in the blanks. Bryn's landscapers arrived with leaf blowers, chased him out the gate she'd left open, all caught on tape. That wasn't harassment anymore. That was attempted murder of my family. But here's where Bryn really stepped in it. She'd committed multiple felonies against someone who knew exactly how to weaponize the legal system. I filed criminal charges, unlawful entry, animal cruelty. I called Sarah Morgan, a local reporter with a reputation for exposing corruption. Her story blew up, security footage, interviews with victims, proof of targeting. The community responded in force. Donations for legal fees, 3 law firms offering to help, the state attorney general getting involved. More families came forward. The web unraveled. That's when Pat Donnelly showed up at my door. She looked like a retired librarian, sensible shoes, and homemade cookies. Turns out she was a retired FBI agent, 25 years chasing financial crimes, and she'd been watching Bryn. She laid out a mountain of evidence: false insurance claims, fake identities, missing HOA funds. Bryn had done this in other states, using new names each time. She wasn't just a petty tyrant. She was a professional fraudster. Pat handed me a folder with proof of insurance fraud, embezzlement, even her fake witness protection identity. The HOA drama was just cover while she looted the community funds and set up her next accidental fire. My house wasn't just a target. It was going to be the evidence in her next scam. That hit me like a gavel to the head. We assembled a war room. Pat, Walt, Rebecca Morgan, a lawyer who lives to destroy people like Bryn. We mapped out everything: federal charges, state prosecution, civil suits, emergency injunctions to freeze HOA accounts, protection for residents. The plan was surgical: maximum force, maximum safety. Bryn's last play? She tried to frame me, sending a complaint to the Judicial Commission, leaking doctored photos, making up witness statements. She thought a social media storm would bury me. For 72 hours, trolls screamed for my head, but then Pat dropped the real bombshell. Bryn's entire criminal history, spanning 4 states, 6 names, millions stolen, dozens of families ruined. Then came the fire. My house, the one Harold and I built, exploded in the middle of the night. I watched it burn from Walt's guest room, knowing it was all caught on tape. Bryn's crew setting up the accelerant, her husband planting evidence, even Bryn showing up with a news crew, feigning concern. The arson investigators found proof of professional arson, fraud, and intent to kill. Bryn's planted evidence became her undoing. Federal warrants went out, bank accounts frozen, Bryn and her crew arrested on live TV. Every penny she'd stolen was seized. Her face, when she was led away in cuffs, almost made up for losing my home. In the courtroom, she stood in an orange jumpsuit, all the arrogance drained away, as prosecutors listed the charges: arson, attempted murder, fraud, RICO violations, identity theft. The family she'd harassed filled the gallery. The jury took less than 4 hours to convict. Bryn got life without parole. Her husband got 25 years. Every dime seized went back to the victims. Pinewood changed, transparent bylaws, fair rules, justice for all. And what did I learn? Sometimes, losing everything is the price you pay to end a nightmare, not just for yourself, but for everyone who comes after. Justice isn't always quick, and it sure as hell isn't always painless. But if you keep fighting, really fighting, it shows bullies like Bryn that some people can't be broken. Now, I sit in my rebuilt kitchen, watching cardinals outside Harold's Memorial Feeder, thinking about how many communities we save by standing up and documenting every little thing. Gavel, my old cat, has recovered. He owns the place now. Justice didn't just punish evil. It healed our community. So let me ask you, how far would you go to fight back if someone tried to steal your home, your peace, your memories? Would you take on the whole system? Because sometimes that's what it takes. Drop your story in the comments if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with an HOA nightmare or a bully who thought they ran the place. And if you think justice was served, well, I hope you'll tell me. Because in the end, justice is the story we write together.